the moment, Rampager actually needs to either get a third up because he wants to be ahead of bases, which he actually does have up now, which I didn't exactly see. Rampager actually does have a couple drones just sitting here, so that's probably a slight miscontrol. Now moving all those drones into his third base. The mutas pushing out again to be a bit aggressive, and we'll just have to see if the mutas are actually able to do any damage at the moment. Rampager is going for the Carapace upgrade level 2, whereas Brockemon is going for vehicle weapons and vehicle plating upgrades. So at the moment, Rampager still doesn't have any roaches down whatsoever. He does have double Evo chamber to get those upgrades, but only one of them is actually upgrading at the moment, so that probably was not the best of ideas. He does have his roach warden down, but still we don't see any roaches out on the field. We have 57 drones for Rampager versus 53 SCVs for Brockemon. Now, Brockemon does have one Thor on the field, probably going to look to get some more. And if we check the factories, he is producing 2 Thors at the moment. He is going to be switching the factory with the barracks. So he's going to be attaching a reactor onto the factory. So we're going to be seeing a predominantly Thor-based and Hellion-based army, which is actually going to be pretty good. The Blue Flame Hellions are going to be able to deal with these Zerglings very efficiently, especially it's going to be efficient at dealing with the Banelings as well. The Thors are going to be able to take out the mutas pretty easily if Rampager doesn't choose the magic box, which could or could not happen. Now, Rampager does know the Thors, right? He did take a couple of hits from the Thors, so he's actually gonna have to probably look into changing his tech path at the moment, because if you go mainly Zerglings, Banelings, mutas against this predominantly mech army, you're gonna run into a lot of trouble. Now, Brockemon is sending in Hellion to the Xel'Naga Tower. He is gonna see all the Zerglings there. That is gonna get picked off. So we'll just have to see what Rampager chooses to do from now. He does have a couple of Festers, which will help. The Hellions are pushing out into the middle of the field. He knows that the Zerglings are out of position. He's going to take most of them down. Numbers of Zerglings getting cut in half. That's probably going to take an extra couple of hits as well. And as you can see, Blue Flame Hellions did kind of take out most of Rampager's Zerglings pretty easily. He does have a significant number of Banelings, but against this number of siege tanks, number of Thors, number of Hellions, it isn't going to really be doing all that well. Now, Brockemon is sending a couple Hellions out just to scout for Rampager's third, and he actually is going to find this base, which is relatively undefended. He only has one queen up, no static defense, so most of these drones are probably going to get taken out. So this is actually going to deal quite a bit of damage to Rampager's economy. Probably around 5 or 6 drones did get taken out there. It's not going to deal that big of a blow, but it's still going to do something. Rampager is pushing out with his Hellions and looking to saturate his third base. He did get pushed back by the mutas, and the mutas did spot the SCVs going down to the third, so he does know that is up. But with 3 missile turrets and a planetary fortress, that base is actually going to be pretty secure. The Brockemon is pushing in. The Hellions actually dealing quite a lot of damage at the moment. The Thor's going to come in. That's going to tear all hell up. Siege tanks sieging up. Hellions are going to roast away all these Zerglings, and he's going to lose couple Hellions to the Banelings, but that's not going to deal all that much damage. Infestus is throwing down fungal growth. If he does throw down a couple of fungal growths on the Hellion, I'm screwing up so many words today. If he continues with the fungal growth on the Hellions, it's going to be able to take them out pretty easily, especially since in the latest patch there was a buff to the fungal growth's DPS. Well, not DPS, but actually, yeah, DPS. Damn, I'm dropping the ball today. Brockemon is looking to try to contain the Zerg. The Thors are going to be pushing back any Overlord drops, which isn't really a possibility at the moment since he doesn't have speed upgrade or the ventral sacks. The mutas are going to get taken out, and Brockemon pushing in with the Thors, throwing down the scan to possibly look for any borrowed Banelings. Now the Banelings are moving in. He does manage to snipe out one Thor. The mutas moving in, try to snipe out a Thor. He is taking a lot of damage from the Thors. He's looking to snipe out a couple of siege tanks. That's going to help keep his Zerglings alive a bit, but at the moment, Rampager really needs to get rid of these Thors somehow. He actually needs to get out a couple of roaches. Brockemon does manage to take out that entire drone line. He's probably going to be taking out most of these Overlords as well, so the Zerg's supply count is going to be dropping pretty rapidly here. if we look at the unit composition again, there are 39 drones to 61 SCVs. So the Zerg's actually going to be in quite a bad economic position, especially since the Terran also has the mules to use instead. Now Brockemon did basically take out Rampager's entire natural. He's going to be sending another 2 Hellions into his third just to do some more damage, but there is 2 spine crawlers in place and the Queen is still there to defend. So he's probably not going to be able to do all that much. He does manage to take out a couple of drones, and Brockemon is moving in for the kill at the moment. He has 5 Hellions. That's going to basically wipe out his entire army, since Rampager doesn't really have all that much in production. He has 8 Mutas on the way, but against 5 Thors it isn't really going to do all that much, especially since he does have a couple Marines left. That's just going to provide some extra damage. He does now have 6 Thors. The siege tanks are sieged up, and that's basically all of Rampager's tech buildings gone, except for his Spire and Infestation Pit. So Rampager is probably going to be GGing out of this any moment now. He does have the Mutas just chilling at his base. He could probably try to do some damage inside his base, try to force the Terran to fall back a bit, but it might be too little too late at the moment. The drones are going to fall down to the Hellions' Infernal Pre-Igniter, but the main was more or less mined out anyway. The Overlords actually survived, surprisingly. He does have 2 Infestors left, but that's not going to really do all that much. He does manage to take out a couple of Infestors using the Fungal Growth, but that's not going to really help him right now. Now the Mutas are going to be taking out the siege tanks while the Thors are basically out of position. He does manage to snipe off 2 or 3 siege tanks, but with the Thors coming in, those Mutas are going to get repelled. He probably could look into attacking his main base at the moment, but because Brockemon is reinforcing his army with a couple more Thors, that's probably not going to do all that much either. He also is getting his 4th base up, so Terran's economy is probably looking really good right now. Zerg only at 300 minerals per minute, only mining off 1 base, getting a 2nd base right now, whereas the Terran has 1,200 minerals per minute. And Zerg basically isn't mining any gas at all. The Terran does have a healthy 600 gas per minute, so Brockemon more or less has this game in the bag. The Terran is looking pretty dominant right now. He is mined at his main base, but damn, that third actually has a ton of SCVs on it. That's probably slightly oversaturated. He can transfer down to the next base when that gets finished. This 2nd base, which is technically his 3rd? I lost count. 4th, sorry. Rampager does GG out, so we are going to move on to game 2. Now remember, this is a best of 5, so Rampager still has a chance to come back in this. I wish him all the best, because he is the crowd favourite so far, but we'll just have to see how well he performs in the following matches. This has been Crucius for USID and New South Wales StarSoc, as well as Into StarCraft, and I'll be right back with game 2.